Hello, dear students. And today our discipline is the strategic management and marketing. And I am Tareva Islamna, the candidate of economic sciences from the Department of Economic and Management of Entrepreneurship. And the specialty of uh, our discipline is marketing. So let's start from today's lecture. The lecture number 7, and the topic of today's lesson, the choice of strategy, strategic pyramid, and reference strategies. So let's start from the goal of the lecture. The success of many firms is ensured as a result of detailed strategy development, since it is from those positions that all major activities are coordinated. It means production, innovation, search for new areas and activities, resources, also management, and etc. The plan of the lecture for today will consist of two parts or two questions. The first part would be dedicated to the methodological basis for choosing an organization development strategy. And our second question will be about the types of enterprise, also strategies and their characteristics. So let's start from the first one. This is methodological basis for choosing an organization development strategy. The company sets goals and having formed a strategy seeks to achieve them. At the same time, it's obvious that the mere application of the techniques and methods of the strategy in practice cannot automatically ensure success, since strategic research is not yet a guarantee of obtaining the effect from the realization of the opportunities that have opened up in a particular area of activity. This is just a tool for the growth of an enterprise which allows maintaining its potential at a high level and smoothing out the cycles of its development, skillfully managing those processes. The generally accepted strategy formation process consists of the following components. We have some of them, and the first is a definition of the mission of the enterprise. Then we should find analysis of the external environment. Then analysis of the internal capabilities of the enterprise. After this, we should study of strategic alternatives that contribute to the achievement of the goals and the choice of strategy. Then we need to make a development of the organizational structure of the enterprise, the basic principles of motivation and control. Afterwards, the implementation of the strategy, operational planning and management, and the last one, this is evaluation of the strategy. For example, monitoring the progress of the implementation of the strategy and making appropriate adjustments to it if necessary. The most significant decision in the formation of a strategy is the choice of enterprise goals. Those enterprises that, due to their scale, feel the need for multi-level management systems need clearly formulated goals of their broader and more specific plan focused on the overall goals of the company. The global purpose of the enterprise, a clearly expressed reason for its existence, for example, represents its mission. Goals are developed for the implementation of this particular mission. The latter details the status of the enterprise provides the main direction and benchmarks for setting goals, strategic approaches at various organizational levels. The mission statement of the enterprise contains the following points, and those points we will see on our next slide. Here we see three of those points. The first, the main task of the enterprise in terms of its main services or products, its most important markets and preferred technologies. Next one, characteristics in relation to the firm environment, which determines the basic principles of the enterprise in the market. The next one, culture and psychological climate of the organization. The formation of the company's mission is the most important element or goal of the enterprise. The mission of the company should serve as a factor in attracting customers. It should show what needs of the client the company can most effectively satisfy. After defining the firm's mission and goals, management moves into the diagnostic phase of the strategy formation process. The first step here is to study the external environment, which is assessed according to three main parameters: identifying and accounting for changes that affect different aspects of the current strategy, identification of factors that pose a threat to the current strategy of the company, assessment of the effect of factors that open up great opportunities for achieving company-wide goals. A survey of the marketing function usually focuses on the analysis and research of the following areas, such as market share and competitiveness, variety and quality of the product range, market research and development, pro-sales and after-sales customer service, effective sales, advertising and promotion, and profit. A detailed study of the financial condition allows you to identify the already existing potential, internal shortcomings or weaknesses in the organization, opens up the opportunity to assess the position of the company in comparison with its competitors. Analysis of financial performance usually reveals to management the strengths and weaknesses of the enterprise in the long term. The prospective enterprise development program considers various strategic alternatives. Having analyzed external dangers and new opportunities, bringing the internal structure in line with them, the management of the organization can begin to choose a strategy. The process of choosing a strategy consists of the stages of development, fine-tuning and analysis, the evaluation. In practice, those stages are difficult to separate as they represent different levels of the same analysis process, but use different methods. At the first stage, strategies are created to achieve the goals. Here it's important to develop a greater number of alternative strategies to involve not only top managers, but also middle managers in this work. This will significantly expand the choice and will not miss the potentially best option. At the second stage, the strategies are finalized to the level of adequacy to the organization's development goals in all their diversity, and a common strategy is formed. At the third stage, alternatives are analyzed within the framework of choosing general strategy of the enterprise and evaluated according to their degree of sustainability for achieving its main goals. At this stage, the overall strategy is filled with contents. The choice of strategy is the central moment of strategic planning. Often an enterprise chooses a strategy from several possible options. So, if an enterprise wants to increase its market share, it can achieve the goal in several ways. Lower product prices, sell goods through more stores, introduce a new model of the market, create a more attractive image of the product through advertising, etc. Each path opens up different possibilities. For example, a pricing policy is easy to implement, flexible, but also easy copied by competitors, while a strategy based on new technology is difficult to copy, but also more expensive and less flexible, etc. Thus, an organization may be faced with a large number of possible alternatives strategies. All the variety of strategies that commercial and non-profit organizations demonstrate in real life are various modifications of several basic strategies. Each of them is effective under certain conditions and the state of the internal and external environment, so it is important to consider the reasons why an organization chooses one strategy over another. Limited growth. This strategy is used by most organizations in established industries with stable technology, with a limited growth strategy. Development goals are set from what has been achieved and adjust for changing conditions. For example, inflation. If the management is generally satisfied with the position of the enterprise, then it's obvious that in the future it will adhere to the same strategy, since this is the easiest and least risky course of action. The next is growth. This strategy is most often used by dynamic industries with a rapidly changing technology. It's characterized by the establishment annually of the significant excess of the level of development or the level of the previous year. Then abbreviations or last resort strategy. This strategy is the least frequently chosen by organizations. It's characterized by setting goals below the level achieved in the past. The reduction strategy is resorted to when the performance of the organization acquires a steady downward trend and no measures will change this trend. The combined strategy, combination strategy. The strategy is any combination of the considered alternatives, limited growth, growth and reduction. The combined strategy is usually followed by large organizations that are achieved in several industries. So an organization can sell or liquidate one of its productions and acquire one or more others in return. Each of the above strategies is the basic strategy, which in turn has many alternatives. Thus, a growth strategy can be carried out by acquiring another firm, external growth, or by significantly expanding the range of products, internal growth. The reduction strategy has alternatives. Liquidation is the most radical option when the organization ceases to exist, cutting off the excess in which the company eliminates or designs its inefficient divisions. Basic strategies serve as variants of the general strategy, being filled in the process of fine-tuning with specific content. It is checked for compliance with the goals of the organization compared with the corresponding stages of the life cycle of a product, demand, or technology. Strategic tasks are formed that are solved in the process of achieving goals. Deadlines for solving tasks are set by stages. The required resources are determined, enlarged. Now, we are going to discuss the second question about the types of enterprise strategies and their characteristics. And in this part of the lecture, we will have also two questions. The first is about strategic pyramid by Thompson and Strickland. And the next question is about the functional strategies of the enterprise. So let's begin from the first. There are many approaches to the classification of strategies in the literature, which is associated with the ambiguity of understanding and emergence of new approaches to revealing the essence of an enterprise strategy. At the same time, one of the main features by which strategies are distinguished, according to generally accepted opinion, is their organizational levels of management. The authors of the division of strategies on this basis were Thompson and Strickland, and this approach was called the pyramid of strategies. The first level is the corporate strategy for the entire company. The second is the business strategy for each line of businesses of the company. The third is the functional strategy for each functional unit within each line of business. The fourth level is the operational strategy, a narrower strategy for the main structural units within functional units, factories, local and regional sales departments, and departments. Here, you may see the pyramid of strategies for a multi-profile diversified company. In the top of this pyramid, we see the corporative strategy and biodynamic influence. Then after the top, we see the business strategy. The next one, the functional strategies. This is marketing, finance, staff, research, works, and production. And the last one, this is the operational strategy. These on the regional and local enterprises. So a corporate strategy is a general plan for managing a diversified company, describing actions to achieve certain positions in various industries and approaches to managing certain types of activities. The corporate strategies should reflect four major areas. The first, development and strengthening of positions in new industries. The main thing in the corporate strategy of a diversified company is to determine the number and types of activities. In other words, decide in which industries the company will operate and how, whether it will create a new company or acquire an existing one. If he acquires, then which one, a stable leader, a new company, or a problematic enterprise with hidden potential. This element of the corporate strategy determines the scale or number of industries and the nature, related, unrelated, of the diversification. The second, increasing the productivity of all departments. as the overall position of the company in selected industries in consolidated. The corporate strategy focuses on strengthening the long-term competitive position and increasing the profitability of all divisions. A parent company can help its divisions in a variety of ways: find efficiency improvements, provide qualified personnel and know-how, acquire a competitor in the same industry, and merge with its subsidiary to increase overall efficiency, acquire a new company that complements the activity her own. In general, the productivity improvement strategies to ensure the growth of the most promising divisions and the sustainable functioning of the rest, to improve unprofitable but promising divisions, to separate unattractive or not in line with long-term plans. The third one, this is turning elements of intercompany compliance into a competitive advantage. Diversification in an industry with similar technologies, distribution channels, buyers, or other elements allows for the benefits of strategic alignment, which gives it an advantage over competitors who have chosen an unrelated diversification strategy. The next one is the fourth, setting investment priorities and redistributing resources in favor of the most promising units. Different departments have different investment attractiveness, so it is advisable to redistribute the resource base in favor of departments with high potential profitability. The corporate strategy should include the elimination of divisions, chronically unprofitable or located and unattractive industries. The funds released in this case can be used to strengthen promising units or acquire new ones. Now the next is business strategy. This is a set of measures and approaches for the successful functioning of the unit with a description of ways to create a stable and long-term competitive position of the unit. It is a plan developed by management to manage one unit to achieve its optimal performance. In a one-stop company engaged in only one type of business, corporate and business strategies are the same. The business strategy contains the following elements. The first element, this is reaction to change in the industry and the economy as a whole in legal, political, and other significant areas. The second element, development of a competitive strategy and market policy that provides a sustainable advantage in the market. The third, accumulation of the necessary knowledge and means of production. Coordination of strategic initiatives of functional divisions. And the fifth, solving specific strategic problems of companies. In other words, a business strategy is a set of all measures and approaches that management considers appropriate in a given competitive situation, given the current trends in the economy, the level of technological development, the demographic composition and needs of customers, the legislative framework, and other external factors. A strong business strategy provides a significant and sustainable competitive advantage. A weak one leads to a weakening of the competitive position. A sustainable competitive advantage allows a company to earn above average profits and take a leading position in the market. The best business strategies are usually aimed at achieving very high or unique competencies in one or more areas of activity in which success is vital to the organization. This competence is the basis of competitive advantage. Unique competencies can be found in innovative leadership, efficient processes, waste reduction, marketing and sales know-how, a global distribution network, excellence in e-commerce, customer service, and any other quality that provides a competitive advantage in development, distribution, and marketing of goods or services. The next is functional strategy. This is a plan for activities and functional units. Functional strategy, production, marketing, customer service, sales, finance, personnel, etc. within departments. A functional strategy is a plan for managing a functional unit within one division of the company. A marketing strategy, for example, is a plan for managing a company's marketing activities. Companies need strategies for each major functional unit or structure: manufacturing, marketing, customer service, sales, finance, human resources, etc. A functional strategy is already a business strategy and presents the business plan in more detail. It aims to achieve and strengthen specific competencies designed to strengthen the company's position in the market. Like a business strategy, a functional strategy should support the corporate strategy and competitiveness of the company, ensure the achievement of functional goal and mission. For example, an enterprise's functional strategy is an operations management plan that simultaneously support the business strategy and archives the goals and mission of the enterprise. One more strategy, this is operational strategy. It defines the principles for managing links of the organization structure, factories, sales departments, distribution centers, and the solution of strategically important operational tasks: purchasing, inventory management, repairs, transportation, and advertising. The operational strategy contains the principles of managing key structural units, factories, sales departments, distribution centers, in their daily strategically significant activities: advertising campaigns, raw material procurement, inventory management, repair and maintenance, transportation, and specific strategic initiatives. The plant manager needs a strategy to achieve the goals and solve any problems of the plant, aligned with the overall production strategy of the company. A regional sales manager needs a sales strategy tailored to a specific region and focused on the company's overall sales strategy. An advertising manager needs an advertising strategy that ensures maximum contact with the target audience and sales growth due to the implementation of the advertising budget. Operational strategies complement and detail the company's business plan. The stability strategy focuses on the organization's existing activities and maintaining the competitive position in the market. Used in mature industries with static technology companies, they are satisfied with their position. Those are mainly firms and dominate the market, leaders, monopolists. Options for an alternative stability strategy can be protecting the position in the market, rationalizing the market, organizing the market. The growth strategy provides for the excess of the level of development of the company over the previous period. Growth goals can be increased sales volume, market share, profit of firm size, etc. Under certain conditions, a slight increase or lack of such growth hinders the development and improvement of the organization. The growth strategy is especially relevant in dynamically developing industries with rapidly changing technologies. In an unstable industry, a lack of growth can lead to bankruptcy. Any company has two fundamental options for a growth strategy: internal development, intensive growth, or external growth. Intense growth implies that the firm achieves better results in existing areas of activity within the underlying market. Here is support to exceed the results of activity by improving the existing business and using hidden internal reserves. This is useful when the firm hasn't yet fully exhausted the opportunities associated with its products and the underlying market. As for external growth provides for the development of the company through expansion, through integration process within the industry production chain, integration growth, as well as the development of new business areas outside the main activity, diversified growth. This is justified when there are not enough opportunities for internal growth to close the gap between planned indicators and targets. Thus, a strategic advantage can be created by adding and integrating new elements of the business which can be more effective than developing them internally within a given firm. The modern business trends are closely related to such integration processes as mergers, acquisitions, and creation of joint ventures, which have a variety of forms. By the nature of the tasks to be solved, the following types of observation can be distinguished. Vertical, when a supplier or consumer is taken over. Horizontal, when a competitor is absorbed. For the purpose of product development, when a company is acquired to create a single set of products. For the purpose of expanding the market, when a related company operating in another market is acquired. In modern conditions, such organizational forms of integration as a concern, holding, conglomerate, cartel, consulting, financial and industrial group, corporation, transnational corporation have been developed. Intensive growth strategies. Strategic alternatives for internal growth are market penetration, market development, and product development. The market penetration strategy is related to the available products in existing markets and is more focused on the short-term period of the company development. An increase in sales can be achieved by influencing the components of primary demand. For example, by attracting new users of product, encouraging buyers to use the product more frequently and or it's a one-time consumption by identifying new opportunities for using the product. This behavior is typical of the leading firms that benefit the most from the increase in market size and is justified when the underlying market continues to develop or is not yet saturated. Here on the figure 2 demonstrated the sources of intensive growth. Despite the fact in the considered strategic alternative of intensive growth is associated with the least risk, it's ultimately limited by the size of the market, changing technologies, the emergence of new product, changing tastes and preferences of the buyers. With the market development strategy, you will inform by yourself when you will look through this lecture. Also, you will look through the integration with their strategy, their Strat strategy. And this is the end of our lecture for today. And I would like to answer the control questions. Here is 3 of them. Define horizontal integration, its purpose. What is the essence of the intensive growth strategy? What are the types of enterprise strategies? And this is the bibliography that you may come from near. Have a good luck and see you on our next lecture.